to the House of Commons and welcome to Anna Kennedy Online's presentation on autism diagnosis and disability discrimination. So what I'm going to talk to you about is a little bit about what happened last year, and I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of research that I've been doing on the web. So when I looked on the web, I was trying to discover what were the top 5 health problems reported across the United Kingdom. That was really easy to find. They were heart problems, respiratory disease, brain attack, cancer, and liver disease. But when I researched what are the top 5 disabilities diagnosed in the United Kingdom, I couldn't find any concrete information, just guesstimates. However, in 2014, what is autism was the 5th most common question on Google, which proves we've still got a long way to go. Recently on the BBC, the Royal College of GPs were holding their hands up about them being clueless about autism and failing autism patients. From where I'm sitting as a mum and as a chair of a charity, and listening to families at grassroots levels on social media, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Twitter, whether it be just chatting, I feel that it is us parents who are owning autism and searching for the best pathways to support our children. What happens when we die?
In the time from my eldest's the first diagnosis that we received in our family to today, there have been 4 separate pediatricians. In that time, the notes get lost. The continuity of care doesn't get carried on from one to the next. Speech and language therapy is overloaded. They tend to refuse all but the worst cases. Occupational therapists are invisible and they're quite rare. Early support, which is a part of the local authority in Birmingham, they discharge a child as soon as they move to a setting. So as soon as they're in school, that's it. They just disappear. So oftentimes parents may not suspect autism. Why would they? Unless they're familiar with autism or, like us, have a reason to suspect that something has gone on. Why would they know? Schools are not capable of making a diagnosis, and they tend to miss autism unless little Johnny picks up a chair and throws it or disrupts the class. So in particular, they miss the very quiet, shy girls that don't want to make a fuss and don't want to be seen. So with parents being told that things are normal over and over and over again, it starts to feel quite deliberate. It probably isn't, but it begins to feel quite deliberate.
Without that help, without that support, without those interventions, I cannot do these things. Okay? Now I put myself in the place of a child. They've got the rest of their life ahead of them. Their developmental years are there in front of them. How are we going to educate you? How are we going to look after you? How are we going to make sure that you can give the very best that you are able to, no matter what that is, in life? If we don't diagnose, and we don't put those pointers in place, education and all the services suddenly come to a grinding halt. There is nothing to help you. You're a parent who's doing something wrong. You're a parent who doesn't know what they're talking about. I'm a professional. You couldn't possibly know what you're talking about. Can you imagine what it feels like, and I know some of you can, to actually have that said to you? It is complex. I think we'll all agree. Many of you in the room, most of you, do understand autism. It is a complex thing to understand. It is not simple to diagnose. We're not asking for anyone to rush a diagnosis through. We're not asking for thousands of people just to be handed a diagnosis. Oh, this will quieten everyone, let's just do this. But what we are asking for is where it's taking years to make a difference or to signpost someone in the wrong direction. That's wrong. It doesn't need to take that amount of time. Within the survey that we did last year, there was one example from beginning to end that was 10 years. We're not talking about people that are making something up and are still wandering around there going, my child is autistic, and they're just blowing their own trumpet. That child was seen by a different team who all sat there and said, we cannot believe it's taken 10 years. We can diagnose here and now. How was that never picked up? The first time that child was seen was at the age of 6. how much developmental and educational time was wasted between 6 and 16 when someone said, okay, here's a diagnosis, we totally agree, and here's all the support you can have in education. Oh, you're an adult now. Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? Kind of missed some of that. Never mind. Probably a little room you can go and sit in somewhere and play on a computer or something. That'll be nice, won't it, eh? That sounds a bit mocking. Do you know how many young adults I know on the spectrum who want to be part of society, who want to join in, who want a job? They want to do things. Possibly the way they've been made to feel means they've moved themselves out of society. But often it's that late diagnosis. It was picked up too late. They weren't helped and supported in the way that they should have been. They were just stranded, just left. On the heap, as it were. And now they shut themselves away. I want to be part of society. I want to join in, but I actually don't know how to. Okay? Those people would like to work. Those people would like to join us in everything that we do. So anyone that wants to tell me that there could be a financial situation when it comes to putting more time and effort into diagnosis, well, my response is, look at the financial situation we have with so many people that just can't work. They're able to, they want to work, and they're not out there. Okay? And everyone's quite happy to go, okay, we'll sign you up for this, we'll sign you up, you just go away. Okay, we'll just give you some money, you just go away. That doesn't help society, it doesn't help that person. That doesn't help their own empowerment to be who they are.
I was lucky enough to be asked to be patron of Anna Kennedy Online last year. Came about, I was asked to judge Wear for Autism, and I actually knew nothing about autism, to be quite honest, but I was honoured to be asked. When I started reading through the case studies and realised that not only did people have to deal with autism, but bullying that I couldn't even begin to believe went on in the community, I wanted to really get involved. And what I've done is I've tried to raise awareness, raise funds for the different events, and just do charity walks. I'm going to do a sky jump and some various bits and pieces. But it's a really good cause, and I think the more we educate people about bullying and in society,
Hi, my name is Robin Stewart. I'm here at the House of Commons with Anna Kennedy Online. I was invited just to come along. I'm someone on the autism spectrum who's done lots of work around autism. I wrote the book, The Independent Woman's Handbook for Super Safe Living on the Autistic Spectrum, and I have an interest in coming to events like this to find out how other people are experiencing it. Because I'm not a parent myself, I think it's really important to hear the perspective of parents, but also I am just one person on the autism spectrum, and every person is different, so it's important as much as possible to find out how people experience the world and what kinds of support people need, and also how things work around the country in terms of people accessing support. What's really happening on the ground. I think that's really important, and I'm really delighted to be invited because it's an opportunity to hear Anna and her team speak, but also to meet other people and just learn about different perspectives.